Well, here's a headline that looks familiar. Only took the Washington Post 96 hours to figure it out. This is why I think following the media, folks, is going to be a fool's errand if you're going to try to oppose this man, because they're so far behind the game. The day that Donald Trump came out and had that little dog and pony show, I put up a video explaining exactly what it was. And what did it take, a week for the Washington Post to finally figure it out? Let's go down here to the body of the story to cover exactly what I'm saying here. Do these executive actions actually do everything that Trump claims they do? The answer varies by the kind of authority each directive assumes. Withdrawing from a trade pact that was not in effect is easy enough. But anything needing new appropriations will in turn need legislative action. Gee, who does that sound like? There's probably some money in the Homeland Security budget that can be reprogrammed, toward construction of a few feet of wall between the United States and Mexico. Yeah, and who else said there was going to be a little photo op down there where they're constructing a few feet of wall for the cameras? Would I say that weeks ago? For instance, but to build more than that, or to hire the 5,000 new Border Patrol agents or 10,000 immigration enforcement officers, also quote unquote ordered by the president, Congress will have to approve funding. Gee. Fast tracking the Keystone XL oil pipeline. State level hurdles. Efforts to use federal money to browbeat states and localities probably will run up against Supreme Court decisions protecting federalism. See, this is the reason I go to this was not to say, haha, see that, I called this first. I mean, I knew they were going to get to it eventually, but the greater point that I want to make in this video is this. You cannot mistake these public displays of displeasure with Donald Trump for actual anti-Trump activities. You can't do it, folks, because this is feel-good stuff. This is stuff that's supposed to be cathartic for Democrats, and it doesn't, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm just saying that if you really want to oppose the man, if you really want to have an effect on the man, things like this don't work. And provably don't work. I mean, how long did NBC take to try to tear this guy down? Did it work? Nope, not a bit. You think NBC is going to give any of the money that they made off The Apprentice back? Do you think that NBC knew that they had a piece of tape with Donald Trump talking about grabbing women's genitals when they hired the man to do The Apprentice? They sure did. What does that tell you about NBC? Do you remember what I said about watching who you were standing with? Watching and seeing who your real friends are? With NBC knowing what they knew, but yet still hired the man to do The Apprentice, what does that tell you about their real dedication to their democratic values? It tells you it only goes as far as their pocketbook. And that's it. And this is why this didn't work either. Remember this? Huge march, women's march. It's going to be the beginning of some huge movement. No, it didn't. It didn't stop the immigration ban. It didn't stop them appointing Bannon to the head of the NSC. It didn't stop anything. It didn't do anything but make Democrats feel good about Democrats. And as a conservative who is trying to bring down Donald Trump and bring down his dictatorship, I need to give you guys some loving advice here. When you folks used this tactic to attack other Republicans, it didn't work then either. All it did was energize conservatives. These marches, you make the mistake of thinking that the people you're attacking think like you do, and they don't. These people value their normal, everyday Ozzie and Harriet lifestyles. That is what you have to mess with. And these marches, they see this on Facebook, they see this on TV, they laugh, turn it off, and crack open another beer. It does nothing. You can organize 20 million people to go march. It's not going to do anything to change these people's support for Donald Trump. It's not going to do it. You have to make it hard on these people. I mean, this doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, she's, you know, this will probably be the last time I even speak about her, because she should have honestly never been put on the ballot. Her opportunity was 2008 and she lost it to Barack Obama. She had too much baggage. That's why there were 15 different Republicans trying to run against her, because they knew any one of them could have won. This channel is going to be about people who are interested in actually having an effect. If you're interested in actually having an effect and doing something to affect Trump's support base, then please stay with the channel. But if you're interested in things that just make you feel good about yourself and things that haven't worked in the past but you still want to do them, go ahead. But today we're going to start here. This is from the Business Insider. Fracking insiders admit to employing military psychological operations on American citizens. Big shocker there. Big shocker there. And you can read through this article. It's on Business Insider / the fracking industry admits to employing military psychological operations on American citizens. That's the website. So, anyway, it goes down here and, quote, we have several former psy-ops folks that work for us at range because they're very comfortable in dealing with localized issues in local governments. Think about that. Localized issues and local governments. That's where psy-ops starts, in your local neighborhoods, in your local regions. Really all they do is spend most of their time helping folks develop local ordinances and things like that, but very much having that understanding of psy-ops in the Army and in the Middle East has applied very helpfully here for us in Pennsylvania. Download the U.S. Army Marine Corps Counterinsurgency Manual because we are dealing with an insurgency. There's a lot of good lessons in there, and coming from a military background, I found the insight in that extremely remarkable. And I know I'm reading a lot of quotes here, but this is what the channel has been about. I'm a former Army interrogator, and this is tactics that are 101 in dealing with asymmetric warfare. Insurgency has been a common approach used by the weak to combat the strong. At the beginning of the conflict, insurgents have the strategic advantage. The strategic initiative, but advantage, same thing. And that's something that I have tried to put in every one of my videos. We have such an opportunity here, and it is being wasted with these stupid marches and these stupid media protests. It's just ridiculous. The insurgents generally initiate the war. They may strive to disguise their intentions, and the potential counterinsurgent will be at a great disadvantage until corporate government leaders recognize that an insurgency exists and are able to determine its makeup and characteristics to facilitate a coordinated reaction. That's going to be our biggest advantage. Because while these people are going to know how to deal with democratic opposition, they're not going to know how to deal with internal conservative opposition, because there's a completely different mindset. While the corporation government prepares to respond, the insurgent is gaining strength and creating increasing disruptions throughout the state. Disruptions. The existing corporation government normally has an initial advantage in resources, but that edge is counterbalanced by the requirement to maintain order. See, that's the big thing there, folks. Government, the election of Trump, whatever, has a unwritten mandate that's required of them, that once they take power, that things stay the way they are, the normalcy bias. And without that, they don't succeed. The insurgent succeeds by sowing chaos and disorder anywhere. The corporation government fails unless it maintains order everywhere. And this, folks, you have such an opportunity in your own communities. The thing I showed you with the little magnets, the thing that I showed you with the Sherry's Berries, and there's countless others if you just go to talk radio and you listen to their advertisers and things that you can creatively think up to mess with these people, mess with their money. I found another great thing that you can do. They make this glow-in-the-dark paint, and you can create Nazi stencils, and it's invisible during the day, and you can use it. And yeah, it's vandalism, but you can put it on bumper stickers. In fact, a great thing to do is go find some pro-Trump bumper stickers, and lay them all out and put these stencils and cut out a bunch of little tiny Nazi swastikas and symbols and put over these bumper stickers and then spray through the stencil this glow-in-the-dark spray paint. And it doesn't show up during the day. And then, take them someplace like Walmart and give them out for free. And people put them on their car. But at night, when headlights hit them from the back, they're going to have Nazi symbols all over them. It's perfect. I mean, it's just one of 1,000 things that can be done by people if you're just creative. And this is the kind of thing that these people will be susceptible to because they're not bright people. They're not. They're hardworking people. I think in their heart of hearts, a lot of them think they're decent people. They're just not bright. And some of them are completely evil. They actually really are Nazis, and they may actually like the fact that it has Nazi symbols on it. But some of them just were bamboozled and fooled and didn't bother or were too lazy to do the homework on Donald Trump to figure out what he really was. So, but nevertheless, if they supported him, they're going to be the target. And the same thing with businesses. You can do the exact same thing with businesses with the bumper sticker thing. It's just things that have to be done to label these people. And when people see this and realize that that's what's going to continue and it's never going to stop and life is never going to get back to normal, and every day they wake up and every day they go about their normal day, they're going to have to look over their shoulders to see who's doing what. They're going to realize the mistake they made. And the support for this man is going to dwindle away. And once it finally dwindles down to his hardcore racists, they're going to get tired of it, and then they're going to want to try to organize and go do marches of their own. And that's when we have a huge advantage, because that's when the media will really label all of Trump supporters actual Nazis, because they'll be the only ones who are going to be confident enough to go out in public and support the man. And all the people that supported him because they thought something else about him are going to fall away. And then we've got him. But you've got to be able to do the hard work now and label everybody and create chaos everywhere. So, this was a big deal, folks. If you don't believe what I'm saying about the Night of the Long Knives, this was just the 2017 politically correct version of it. Took this man and put him up as the head of the NSC. Unbelievable. But this goes to show that the marches, everything that's been done up until this point, have had zero effect. Zero effect on the Trump administration. In fact, they're putting their foot on the accelerator. So until people get organized, get in their communities, and start acting like actual soldiers in a war, you're going to spin your wheels. I'm going to leave you folks with this. The citizen speaks of opportunity. The bureaucrat speaks of authority, and the diplomat speaks of policy. The soldier does not speak. The soldier acts, and that is why it is the soldier who wins the war. You want to win the war? Get off Twitter. You want to win the war? Get off Facebook. Stop talking about these signs. Stop talking about these media nonsense celebrities. Their job is to entertain. And if anything they would have done would have actually had an effect, we wouldn't be here now, would we? Time to be a soldier. Time to go out, do your part, and do real damage. Thanks everyone for the support. I really appreciate the channel. Like, share, subscribe. And to those who have come here from the beginning, I appreciate it more than you know. A few shout outs here. JR News, Oz Whistles, Obscure Media, Student Account, Rachel, Jan Kala, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some other people there. Flynn, and one guy that goes by AB space VM. Guys, been great, and I'm sure there's folks I missed, and I apologize if I did, but God bless. We'll see you next time.